Maybe what you're trying to manifest is not actually for you. So today we're going to go a little bit deeper into this topic. I got a comment yesterday from somebody, and then we did a little deep dive into it and had such a great conversation. And so she said, okay, but if we are limitless creators, can't we choose what's meant for us? When you say it's not meant for you, like, who says that? If I can make anything happen, wouldn't I be able to make the thing happen and decide if it's meant for me? No shade, just a genuine question. So the whole concept of what I've been sharing with manifestation from this book, Transurfing, and my own experience as well, is that your soul and your mind have to come into alignment when you are choosing from the infinite possibilities, from the quantum field of potential realities, and bringing it into this physical manifestation of our perceived reality. So your soul and your mind have to come into alignment. Your soul knows what's meant for you. Your soul is very aware of the path that they want to take in this life, in this human experience, and to fulfill its mission, to fulfill its soul contracts and all those things. Your mind is conditioned. It's conditioned from a very young age. This is good, that is bad. You want this, you don't want that. Like, this won't make you money. This, all those things. And then also where we're living, like, this is like what everybody in this city or state or whatever wants, or this is what my group of friends wants, and this is what we all talk about, this is what we all like, this is what my political party thinks. Like, there's so many layers of conditioning that our mind can get so thrown off from actually knowing what it wants, truly what it wants. Like, it can think that it wants something, but the soul might be wanting something else. And so that's what it kind of means, like, when it's not meant for you, is like your soul knows what's meant for you. And so to get our soul and our mind into alignment is really the goal, and then to choose from that place. So it's much more effective to be like, I choose what my soul wants for me, rather than I choose this giant mansion with a brand new Lamborghini. Like, you would say, I choose this brand new mansion with a Lamborghini if that is what my soul wants and is for my highest good. If not, I am open to whatever is for my highest good, and I allow it to be even better than I could have possibly imagined. Thank you, and so it is, right? And so we can do that. We can get into meditation, where we go into mindful meditation and we start getting ourself as the observer. We start becoming familiar with being our soul, with being the truth of who we are, which is the observer. The observer is just that, it just is. And that is us. And so then when we can merge those two, we start seeing the truth in everything. It's like, if we have this practice once a day or whatever, I think like 15 minutes a day, it's great. Then we start seeing the truth, like, actually, I'm not really resonating with what these people are talking about, or with what I've been told about, who I am, or whatever it is. And then we can also kind of get a gauge of what our soul wants by, we talked about this in this conversation too, how to know if it's actually for you, like the thing that you're trying to manifest. So it's like, you can go into a visualization of the thing that you want. Maybe it's a homestead in France with a bunch of horses. And you go there in your mind, and you just kind of visualize yourself in it. You see the horses, you see the couch, you feel the texture of the cushions, you smell the cookies baking, like whatever, you get yourself in there. And then you say, like, how do I feel? Like, do I feel like I'm meant to be here? Or do I feel kind of like I'm being pulled somewhere else, or like constriction, or like, no? And so another way to know for that specific procedure, or whatever you want to call it, if you're getting a feeling of no, is like, think back to a time where like your intuition was right and you ignored it, but you were familiar with it, or you didn't ignore it and you listened to it. So like, I went on a date recently with this guy here in Switzerland, and my mind wanted it to be the one. I was like, he's tall, he's a professional athlete, like, he's so cool, blah, blah, blah. And I saw him, and I've always known that like when I see my person, like I'm probably gonna know right away that that's like my soulmate, my person I'm meant to like have a divine union with. And I remember the feeling. I remember it so specifically. It was like, no, no, it's not him. And I just ignored it. I was like, it is. Look, he's tall, he's beautiful. And so like in those situations, we can be like, oh yes, that was that feeling, that knowing, that intuition, that soul part of me speaking to me in the ways that it's able to speak to me. Like our soul will kind of have a different way for all of us. And maybe it's like feelings, maybe you do see a word, maybe you can hear something, maybe you just sense something. Like it's different for everybody. And so that's why you have to get familiar and you have to learn the language of your soul. And so you can go to the visualization, and if you feel like so at home, you feel so cozy, you feel so all good, then it's probably for you, the thing that you're choosing. And so that means that it's going to be very easy for you to manifest if you can follow the next steps, which is just with your mind and your soul coming into agreement that you want this thing. Choose it. Say, I choose this reality from the infinite possibilities, the infinite variations in the quantum field. I choose this. And then you allow it to come to you. And you allow it to come to you by not giving things importance, by not giving this desired outcome importance and saying, I can't wait for it to come, I can't wait to have it, it's going to be so great. Like that will create resistance, that will push it away from you, because that's saying like it's better than you, it's outside of you, it's separate than you. And it's not separate than you, because if your soul and your mind want it, and there's infinite possibilities, it's happening right now. It's already here. I shared about this incredible experience that I had recently where I was going into my meditation every single day and talking with my angels and guides and being like, what message do you have for me today? And the message would always be, follow the yellow brick road. Like, what do you, like, I don't even remember what happens in that movie. What do you mean follow the yellow brick road? And so I just kept hearing it. I was like, all right, I'll follow the yellow brick road. And then I did a meditation, and I was brought to the wizard's place, whatever it is, palace or whatever, I still don't know. And it was like, okay, you've arrived, and now you'll understand in the next 4 human days, physical manifestation days, like in your perceived reality. And then in my book, the Transurfing book, it talks about the Wizard of Oz, and it talks about how all of them, Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, they all want these things like courage and a brain and a heart and to go home. But what they get to the wizard, and the wizard performs this like fake thing to make them believe that he's giving them these things. But the reality is that they already had them. They already had the courage, the heart, the brain. Dorothy already had the potential to go home. She just had to really believe it. She had to know that it was possible. And so I was like, oh shit, that is some potent stuff. And so you already have it. And I think that that's like where the magic is. Like just feel into that. Like just know that it's happening right now. Everything's happening right now. Time and space are not real. You're still a child. You are a child in every single potential possible way in all the infinite variations. You're an old person in all the infinite variations. And right now, right here in this current age, you are in all the potential variations, and you get to choose exactly what you want. And so by choosing it and allowing it to come in with no importance and being the observer of your reality, then it can come to you. And what's also going to happen in that experience is that there's going to be these balancing forces that are going to kind of test you and see, like, are you actually ready to jump into this timeline? And it's going to have like conversations or thought patterns or just like other situations show up where it maybe brings you back into the old energy that kind of kept you away from going into this new energy. And you get to just look at it as the observer, witness it as not the truth, it's just the conditions of this earth, of these pendulums, as the book calls them, and just observe. Nothing has importance in that. I see that these conditions are trying to make me feel small. I see that I used to actually feel really small or unworthy or whatever it is, and just witness. Oh, interesting. Okay, I removed myself. And then if it's like actually triggering you, you can do things like EFT tapping. I love EFT tapping. You can look up videos. We can talk about EFT tapping more on here. I'm certified in it. It's been life-changing. So if you're feeling triggered by something and you want to let it go, that's like a quick way to do it. And so then you just kind of know that you're being guided into that new timeline. And another thing that's really powerful is doing a visualization of not just being in that new timeline, but on the way to the timeline. Because otherwise it's like then the timeline shifting is chosen for you, and based off of your conditions and everything, it could be kind of a wild ride. But you can kind of maybe set the pace by visualizing, because when you're visualizing, you're creating and you're choosing, and so you can kind of visualize the path of yourself getting there, and then it just makes it more real. You give your brain and your mind, and yeah, your brain and your mind same thing, evidence of how this is going to happen and how it is very incredibly possible, and anything is possible because everything is happening right now, right here. So I hope that all made sense. I hope that this was the message that your soul wanted you to hear today. If it was, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you in the next one.